Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another year of the Champions Cup. This one, the Sharks taking on the Exeter Chiefs in Durban. Now, the Sharks come into this game as heavy favourites after winning themselves the Challenge Cup last year, getting promoted into this match and this competition, which is absolutely stacked with the best sides in Europe as well as South Africa. Looking through at this group, in terms of who is in it, the Sharks, they will be playing Ulster, Exeter, like I mentioned here, and this is their first of many matches. Leicester Tigers, Toulouse, which is going to be an outstanding game, and then Bordeaux as the last team in this group. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Sharks, it is stacked from start to finish. Oxnashare, Bongi Umbanambi, and Trevor Nakanye as the number 3. Eben Etzebeth and Emil van Heerden will be partnering up in the locking duo with James Venter at 6, Vincent Chichuka number 7, and Siya Kolisi once again will be playing number 8. Now, he's done a little bit more for the Sharks as of late. I don't know if that's ever something we will see maybe happen at international level. For now, though, it does seem to be at Sharks level where we see Kolisi at the back of the scrums. Grant Williams as the 9, who was absolutely outstanding this year for the Boks, and Jordan Hendrickse gets the start as the 10. Andre Esterhuizen and Ethan Hooker, a lot of power in the midfield there with Makazole Mapimpi, Edouard Keita and Apelele Fasi at number 15. Now, we've talked about it many times, Rassie Erasmus really testing out the depth of the Springboks throughout 2024. Many of the men's name in this lineup have had that opportunity for the green and gold. For this Exeter Chiefs side, I will be honest, they come into this game as heavy underdogs and not a huge amount of notable names throughout their starting lineup, but sometimes that is when a side can be the most dangerous, when people underestimate them and when you have those unknown guys in the lineup. Scott Seo, of course, a well-known man when you look at the Brumbies from Super Rugby in the past. Dan Frost at 2, and then at number 3, Marcus Street, Capstick, and Franco Molina will be the locking duo with Ethan Roots at number 6, Vermeulen at 7, and Fisi Lau as the number 8. Townsend and Hayden Wood will be the 9-10 combination. Tamati Tua in the midfield alongside Hammersley, and then out on the wings, Tom Wyatt on one side, Emmanuel Fiwaboso. Now, definitely do not underestimate what that man can bring to this game, but he's going head-to-head with Makazole Mapimpi, something that we didn't get to see when South Africa faced England, and then Josh Hodge at number 15. So those are the starting lineups, of course, hoping to bring a little bit of an impact off this bench as well for both teams. You've got Skinner and Rigg as the Exeter Chiefs back replacements, and then for the Sharks, they have got a ton of talent with Pepsi Buthelezi, Jason Jenkins, and then also Sia Masuku, who's normally pretty safe off a kicking tee if this game goes down to the wire. But it looks like a great afternoon in Durban, which is exactly what we wanted to see for this contest. Two sides that will be more than happy to go out and put on a show for the first game of this group. But looking through at the chat, we have got Sharks looking too strong. Says Tyrone, yeah, on paper they look absolutely phenomenal, but we've seen that before in the past for the Sharks, where they've looked absolutely great when you look through at the lineup, and then sometimes they haven't quite delivered. Although this year I think they've been a lot stronger throughout the URC in terms of being able to deliver on the biggest matchups too. Cheers, Hamish. What's the time there, mate, from the UK? At the moment for me, it is 1:55 a.m. New Zealand time, and this is the first of 3 union games that we are going to be covering today. The next one will be Stormers versus Toulon. That is going to be at 4:15 a.m. New Zealand time, and then the last game, Bulls versus Saracen, that starts at 6:30. So we've got a big night ahead of us. A few sevens updates along the way as well. We've already seen a few great games in that department. Sharks to Egypt, but it hangs on how well they travelled. And late night brother, says Graham. And there as well, afternoon mate, finally out of bed, but it's still storming outside, says Fleshin. Yeah, hopefully it does calm down a little bit in terms of the rest of the day. I guess you're early afternoon at the moment, so hopefully by evening it has settled a little bit. Durban, it's pretty much the complete opposite. No chance of a storm there. Just a nice sunny day. The heat will be really hitting them as well, so that could bring a little bit of fatigue later on in this contest, but overall, I think we're in for 80 minutes of very entertaining rugby here between these two sides, and hopefully they will just be able to deliver on that highest level. Looking through at what is to come for these two sides. For the Sharks, they will be playing the Leicester Tigers next week. That is away from home. Then we have a couple weeks off, although it is straight into the URC Champions Cup coming back mid-January. So they have to get through a few more matches before we get confirmation of who will be making their way through to the next stage. That is around, I think it's April, that we're going to start to see competition really shaping up. But a South African derby taking place on the 22nd of December. That will be the 21st for you guys in South Africa, and that is the Sharks taking on the Bulls. And then the week after, Stormers versus Sharks, which is actually a rematch of a game that took place very recently for these sides. And you can see there, the 1st of December, 21 points to 15. That was a great win for the Sharks. It's not too often that they get themselves victories over these other South African sides, at least as of late anyway. And then before that, on a bit of a winning streak, beating Glasgow, who are the defending champs, beating Munster, who were the defending champs the year prior, and then up against Benetton. That game was a bit of an exception. I don't know what to say about that one. I said they were on a winning streak, but that game did hurt them quite a bit. Outside of that one, they've been doing very well. 26 degrees Celsius with a 17-kilometre wind going to be taking place at the ground. Looking through at what Exeter have coming up in the future. They have got Toulouse next week. That is certainly not an easy game, but the good news about it is they will be at home, then back into the Premiership to take on Sale and Gloucester to close out the 2024. Their previous results, they have been playing a little bit of the Premiership Cup. They were able to beat Hartpury University, also beating Gloucester, and then a narrow loss to Bath the 1st of December, or last week, if you want to look at it that way. But this game not too far away from starting, so tell me, Hamish, did you enjoy your holiday and your birthday? Says Mornay Lagrange. It was good overall. It was probably a lot busier than I first anticipated. We still managed to squeeze in quite a few streams. In fact, we squeezed in a lot of sevens throughout the last night that we were there. But cricket didn't exactly go to plan. The Black Caps lost that one a lot earlier than they were supposed to. And I think the second test is going to be the same. So slightly unfortunate in that regard. Hi, mate, says Regime. Welcome in. Hi, the Sharks 40, Chiefs 25, says Eddie. And there as well. And yeah, I think that for the Exeter Chiefs, they have to make sure they make an impact early here, because up against the side in Durban, I mean, we saw what the Sharks did to the Stormers only last week when they were able to score those early tries. Yes, the Stormers started to mount a bit of a comeback, but they just couldn't catch them. So I feel like that's exactly what the Sharks will be looking for here. Quick tries on the board early, and then just hope that their opposition has no chance of being able to get back into it. But I think Fiwa Bosso, definitely one to watch out for in this Exeter Chiefs backline. Tamati Tua also does very well for Northland in the Bunnings NPC, so great to see him in the starting lineup. And I feel like the Champions Cup, for anyone that doesn't follow a huge amount of European rugby, this is kind of like the nostalgia competition in a way. You see teams such as some of the French sides and you go, oh, that's where that guy is. Like I think Racing 92 is a prime example of that. You see Joshua Tuisova. For other sides, you just see all these guys that you're like, oh, so that's where he's ended up. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see how they go here. The Chiefs, considered heavy underdogs. Like I said, there are actually a lot of one-sided games in terms of the odds. I've seen the match, by the way. Says Mornay Lagrange. You've seen the match. I assume you're talking New Zealand versus England rather than this one, because if you've seen this one, of course, do let us know what happens, seeing as it is just about to take place. Sorry, Hamish, New Zealand, the women's team, is better in cricket. I was disappointed last night, says Robert V. Yeah, we've seen some interesting performances from cricket teams around the world. And it wasn't that long ago, South Africa bowled out, was it Bangladesh or Sri Lanka? They bowled them out for a very low total, went on to dominate that test match. Now we're getting ready to go for the start of this match. Eben Etzebeth leading out his side, which, I mean, it's a pretty formidable man to be at the front of your lineup straight away, and then you don't consider the fact that Sia Khaleesi is going to follow him, Makazole Mapimpi, Apalele Fasi. You're pretty much facing the Springboks B team at this point with the Sharks lineup. They are stacked. And go the Sharks, go, says Basil. And I am sure everyone. Sharks team is fully loaded. Got a feeling this game is going to be a great one. Heat may be a big factor, though, says Alilia B. And South Africa 106-run lead at T. says Graham. So that is for the second test, isn't it? That's the one taking place at the moment. But yeah, their last test, I think they were pretty dominant. South Africans, it's a shame the French League isn't shown more outside of France. It's probably the best cup or club level comp around, says Fleshin. Yeah, it is a massive shame. Like, they used to show it here in New Zealand, and it used to be great. And then they took it away. It's the same as the Curry Cup. They took that away from us here in New Zealand, and now they've brought it back. But it's only, it seems to be when I try and stream and do a game for the commentary that they decide not to show it. And that happened quite a bit last season. A few of you guys were here for that stream that was about 20 minutes long that I came, and well, that's a weird start to that sentence, but I started the live stream ready to do the commentary, and then they just never showed the Curry Cup game. But Champions Cup, different story. We are now ready to go, and this match was about to be underway. The Sharks were chasing it off, but I think they went a bit early. In fact, the music is still playing at the game, so I think they had to wait for that to actually stop playing before they could start. But Jordan Hendrickse ready to go, excited to get this match underway between these two sides. A little bit of a false start. Do you know why it's called the Curry Cup, says Rajen? I actually don't. I don't know the origin of the name, but I just know that it's called the Curry Cup. So tell me, Hamish, South Africa started pretty well against Ireland. What did you think about Blitzbox opening match? I mean, they looked formidable. Hopefully they can do the same up against Argentina, or at least look like they're going to be able to keep that momentum going. You love to see a home side do well in their own comp, and I mean, Cape Town certainly brought the energy for that first match. But currently, Exeter Chiefs, they have got the pink kit on for this match as they go for the box kick, and that is out on the full. Big mistake made early from Stuart Townsend. The last thing you want to be doing is giving the Sharks side territory early in the match, because they will make you pay. Looking at this line out, Bongi Umbanambi ready to throw it to more than likely Ebenezebeth. He's got Sia Khaleesi as another option. And then you've got those young up-and-comers, Vincent Tachuka, Anil van Heeren. And already we've got a little bit of a problem at line-out time, closing the gap too much. Okay, Scott Seo just trying to act a little bit dumb there, saying, oh, sorry, I didn't realise that was the mark, as he takes another step over. But Etzebeth claims it at the front. Now Grant Williams goes across to Andre Esterhuizen. Great attack and run from Oxnishare. Ball is there for Williams. Little chip in behind. Got about 4 men chasing it. Josh Hodge under pressure, but he will be able to just put this ball down, and it will be the goal line dropout. Jason has said, how's it, Hamish? Hope you're well, brew. Curry Cup comes from the South African Dr. Dunny Craven, says Jason there. There we go. See, we covered it for a few years back in the day when it was being shown in New Zealand. We actually covered the Curry Cup quite a bit. It was one of the main comps that we did right at the start, and that was how I learned a lot of these South African names, which is just studying them through the domestic competition. Grant Williams goes across to Oxnishare with the inside ball to Eben Etzebeth. Grant Williams across to Jordan Hendrickse, Apalele Fasi. If you didn't know the Champions Cup was on, you'd think I was calling a Springboks fixture at the moment. Back across, Williams finds Eben Etzebeth. Now loose ball, but they will get themselves the penalty here. The Sharks, Grant Williams decides to take the quick tap, playing in 28-degree heat. They're trying to keep that pressure on. Mbanambi taking down Jordan Hendrickse, who's the first player in this play that's going to get the ball that isn't a Springbok. There we go, Ethan Hooker, a future Springbok at 13 for the Sharks in this game. How long ago was back in the day, mate? 1812? Like probably 2020, 2021. Back near the start of the channel's existence. Now Bongi Umbanambi locking over the ball, and that's the one for the Exeter Chiefs. I think that was actually the man who did the first initial kick, Stuart Townsend, who manages to win that not releasing penalty. And thank you, Hamish. I love your commentary from South Africa, says Danian. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated you being here. We're going to be here for 3 games in a row involving the South African sides in the Champions Cup. What's your score prediction? Well, the way that the Sharks have started, I would say that they're not messing around. They want to score, I would say, a good 35, 40 points in this game at least. It's whether or not the Exeter Chiefs can hold them off, though. Because, you know, that defence throughout the first little phase, I'll say, was decent. We didn't really see too many missed tackles. That little chip in behind from Grant Williams almost created the scoring opportunity, but somewhere around a 40-20, I think, is what we're going to see for this match. Thought South Africa was playing Argentina, says Katzenell. They are. They're going to be playing them later on in the sevens. And it was called the Curry Cup after the owner of shipping company in Britain. His name was Donald Curry, and he sponsored the cup, says Regime. Well, there we go. Now, 22 dropout. No, sorry, it is actually just a kick towards the touchline for Josh Hodge off the left boot. Does manage to get it into touch. But, of course, this line out for the Exeter Chiefs will be under a huge amount of pressure. Townsend, one of the bigger nines around that you will see, so that works well when it comes to locking himself over the ball. Nice work from the Chiefs to make it up to the 40-metre line now. And off to the left-hand side. Some big shots coming in, but that's going to be an offside advantage against James Fenter for offside. Now, Emmanuel Fiawaboso knocks it on, so we will go back for the original penalty. And that is going to be 4 minutes into the contest and 40 metres out, so actually a chance to add points here for the Exeter Chiefs if they want them. But the question is, if the Sharks are going to be taking quick taps and going for the corner, will three-pointers be enough in a game like this? And I just don't know if it will be. So good decision to kick this one towards the touchline, being put out by Josh Hodge. Now, of course, we can say good decision here, but it depends on what happens now, whether or not they're able to score a try or whether they do struggle to break through. What time? 3 or 4, says Katzenell. So New Zealand time, it is kicking off at, I believe it's 5:41. So that'll be 6:41 p.m. in South Africa. I'm not too sure about other time zones, though. In the UK, I think it might be 4:41, I would assume. Nicely taken. At the front of the line, out the Exeter Chiefs. There was a knock on, though. So it will now be the scrum for the Sharks, about 10 metres out from their line. I think that's gone against Greg Fisilau. And like they've just said, there's not going to be a huge amount of entries to the 22. We have got there. Hi, Hamish, looking real sharp today. Keep up the good work. Says Nico. Thank you very much, mate. It is great to see you here once again. Just going too close to the touchline there, the Exeter Chiefs, but also knocking it on first of all anyway. Looks like there's a bit of an injury here for, might be Sia Khaleesi, bit of a finger or a shoulder or something. In fact, no, it's Vincent Tachuka. And it looks like that left shoulder. Not sure what's happened there, but hopefully he will be all right to continue. The last thing that they want to be doing is making sub 6 minutes into this game. A bit of a nice stoppage for the players as well, seeing as it's been all-out pace for the first 5 minutes. Trevor Nakanya looking extremely calm there on the front row alongside Bongyum Banambi and Oxnishe. A reunion of that Springbok front row. So around 2:41 a.m. I will believe you. I don't know what time zone you've got for yourself. Got Beer and Hamish on the screen. Saturday sorted. Says Robert. Now getting ready for the scrum. Looks like he might be making his way from the field here. Vincent Tachuka. Now, that was a shoulder injury, but I'm not sure whether or not this is going to be a head injury assessment, but that brings Pepsi Buthelezi onto the field already here for the Sharks. So a very early change that definitely they did not want to make. I can tell you that right now. They would have loved to have that same 4-pack out there for a while. But the question is this an HIA or is this just a shoulder injury? Anyone know how to watch this game in Australia, says Simo. I don't know if Stan Sport has it, unfortunately. They do normally have some of the European side of things, but I'm not sure whether or not they've got it for this one, sadly. I'll have a quick look and see if I can find anything in regards of who's showing the matches, just while we've got the scrum going down. What do we got? Okay, the list that I've got's only got BN Sports, Flow Rugby, Premier Sports, Super Sport, and Sky Sports. So I'm not too sure about the Australian option, sorry. And Vincent's work rate as immense. Hope he's okay. Yeah, hopefully no sort of severe injury at the end of the day. There are still plenty more games taking place. 2 derbies for the South African sides over the next couple of weeks. Grant Williams from 10 metres out from his own line puts that one extremely high. And not gone from Maka Zolima. Pimpy not quite able to take it cleanly under the high ball. Attacking chance here for the Exeter Chiefs. Thought about the cross kicker. At least he wanted it out wide, Tom White, but they didn't see him. Now pick and go around the side from Franco Molina. Makes a few good meters as well in the process. Now 30 meters out. Little Grubber attempted in behind. Apalele Fassi is back there, and that has just given up possession. That's a big shot and a knock on there coming, but was it illegal? Fisi Lau has flattened Fassi, but I think they'll check this to see if the arms were involved, but Fassi is down, and he looks like his eyes have rolled back in the back of his head here. He does not look good at the moment, Apalele Fassi. 3 appearances in his Champions Cup career is what they've got there. Oh, that's head on head. Tackled him a little bit too upright there. Fisi Lau, the last thing that the Chiefs wanted was to be making mistakes like that. And they're going to go upstairs. This will be at least a yellow, if not maybe higher. They want to review this one though, but it's a big shot on Apalele Fassi. Looked like a hit was put on him by Fisi Lau. Ouch, I hope he is fine, says Rajinia. That might be 2 players down for the Sharks in the last 2 minutes. Right, there's no ducking there, and I wonder, like, I want to give Fisi Lau the benefit of the doubt here that he's ended up in a terrible position, but I don't think he intentionally, like, I don't think he initially went to try and hit him high. I think it was just more of the case of he looks like he's lining him up, and then he does cut back and up a Apalele Fassi. It still means that Fisi Lau should have done more, though. There's no denying that. So I think it's going to be a yellow card at least here. Oh. Okay, the referee's just said he's not seeing a high degree of danger. He thinks that a lot of the impact has come through the chest rather than to the head, but the first initial contact is head on head. Chin straight to the side of Apalele Fassi's face. The way that they're describing that sounds like he's not even going to get a yellow card for this. Okay, no, they're happy with the yellow card here. I swear I just heard the TMO when he was asked, are you happy with that decision? He said, I'm not ready. So, I don't... Wait. Who are they giving a yellow card to? They just gave one to Jacques Vermeulen. I think. Or have they? Have we lost control of this? No, now Fisi Lau will make his way off. Okay, so the referee showed the yellow card to the captain of the Exeter Chiefs rather than the man who actually received the card. Watching it on ESPN, there's Katzenel and I, Hamish and gang, are very hot. Papyrus, 39 degrees Celsius, and it looks like Apalele Fassi will continue in this game. Now, he stayed down for a relatively long time. I think Fisi Lau might have also needed HIA by the looks of that. Yeah, just too high in the tackle contact from Fisi Lau. Now 10 minutes off the field, 14 on 15. This is where the Sharks can really start to build their momentum. Are they using the 20-minute red card in this cup? That's actually a very good question that I do not know the answer to. I don't think it is a 20-minute red card, but I could be wrong. So if that's considered a high degree of danger, Fisi Lau may not return for the rest of this game, which is a pretty big mistake from the Exeter Chiefs. Number 8, nicely claimed there by Tom White. 40 metres out from their own line here. Attack and run from Dan Frost. Manages to find his offload to Scott Seo. Does try and bump off Oxenashare, which is extremely hard to do. That man does not let go easy. And they must be Grey Nurse Sharks the way they go down. Says, I am nutty. When was the last red card given out? Says Katzenel. I mean, you'd be surprised at the amount of reds that we've seen in the last little while. Nice pick and go there. Now moving forward, Vermeulen. Kick down field from Ethan Roots, and that's going to pull up just nicely 5 metres out from the Sharks line. Apalele Fasi passes across. Edouard Keita breaks through one, and that was almost a little bit high too. Advantage in favour of the Sharks. I think that's for a tackle off the ball. Jordan Hendrickse goes across to Pepsi Buthelezi, gets the inside ball back from Andre Esterhazen. And they'll go back. That's why he called Ox do dancer. Says Regine, and Chiefs were hard done by. Says Kevin. Yeah, although you just can't take the risk of tackling so upright. Like, at the end of the day, you're in that scenario. Anything that's at least contact here and above, referees can interpret as a yellow with the current laws the way that they are. Hi, Hamish. Will you cover the Ulster game and Leinster game tomorrow? Says D. Flanagan. We aren't 100% confirmed on any game as of yet tomorrow, just because we have to wait to find out about the sevens and who's going to be playing at what time tomorrow. But if there's a gap where there's no sevens games that we want to cover on and one of those two sides are playing, we will definitely cover it. I see Geordie Barrett going to make his debut for Leinster off the bench. Ulster, they've got a big challenge ahead of them facing Toulouse, but it could be a very exciting game. Now, Bongio Manumbi to throw this ball in on the halfway line. Well, taken at the back by the Sharks, Grant Williams. A little bit of pressure on him, but he manages to get his pass away to Hendrickse. Now, again, they'll go off to this left-hand side. That was a rough pass to Apalele Fasi, who's a little bit slower, getting back up to his feet. This ball's going to bounce in the field of play, and Mapimpi wasn't forced back. Now he's grabbing Josh Hodge by the throat. So I don't think he liked the way that he was right on his heels chasing after that one. Mapimpi has to control himself here. I think that might be either a goal line dropout or a 5-metre scrum. I'll just be confirming that. How's the crowd looking? It looks all right. Not a huge crowd for this match overall, but you can understand that with the heat and not whatnot. Yeah, so Mapimpi goes down. And then from there, yeah, just grabs Josh Hodge by the throat. Pretty much says to him, don't touch me, even though it's a contact sport. And now it is going to be the scrum. It's actually going to be right back 40 metres out from the line. Best commentary on YouTube. Great to be here, says Kevin, and I do appreciate you being here a lot. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We've got plenty more Champions Cup coming today. The Sharks kit be looking cleaner. It's a very nice kit for the Sharks. I quite like the yellow strip up the side as well. Oh, loose line out. Okay, it's going to be the scrum feed for the Exeter Chiefs. They have not conceded as of yet, which I think is a bit of a mini achievement. A lot of people felt like maybe they were going to concede that quick try right near the start of the game, but to their credit, they've held on, keeping it close at the moment with the Sharks side, and they have actually got quite the advantage when it comes to pack weight. 917 kgs to the 891 of the Sharks. Ready to feed this ball in now. And that's come out very nicely. Oh, is it a knock on at the back from the Exeter Chiefs? A lot of pressure being put on in the breakdown by the Sharks. Here, Khaleesi. Oh, he's just played that one not clearly out of the ruck. He will get penalised for being offside. He's not happy about it either. Sia Khaleesi thought that ball was his. And they will be able to kick it towards the touchline. This looks like another injury for the Sharks. This time, I think it was James Fenter who stayed down. I think it was just in the wrestling that he did with Jack Maunder. Just gets his shoulder slightly twisted in the wrong direction while he's under the breakdown. Yeah, it doesn't look good for James Fenter. Looks like he is holding that same spot that Vincent Tachuka was. Any update on Vincent? Is Pepsi still on? Pepsi is still on the field. So I didn't see anything that said he was going off for an HIA for Vincent Tachuka. So I think it was just a shoulder injury, and this is not a good sight. James Fenter, he has got the arm wrapped up and he is holding it in place. He will be taken off the field. And now we see Dylan Richardson, a man who was initially chosen as a 16 in this game. Of course, he can play in that loose forward trio as well. And that's where versatility can be so important. That is 3 injuries for the for the Sharks, 2 of which have now made their way from the field. Fussy is still out there, but he's been a little bit slow getting back up to his feet, so I think he's a little bit wobbled from that initial head contact that he took. If the Sharks can't swim backwards, they won't be Or won't they always be offside in defence? Says, I am nutty. And Exeter Chiefs playing dirty. What happened? It was just James Fenter. In the tackle that he made on Maunda, he threw him down, but then threw him in a way that made him go under the breakdown, and then he kind of twisted while Jack Maunda was on top of him. So, unfortunately for him, it was actually pretty much all his own doing in that case. He just got himself in the wrong place trying to throw the 9 and just didn't get it right, unfortunately, and twisted the shoulder in the process. A Chiefs herd and the Cowboys here, says Buckman. And good afternoon, Hamish. Lots of action here in Cape Town, says Roof. Yeah, plenty taking place. Addington Hospital going to be busy, says Kevin. Oh, quick tap going to be taken here by the Exeter Chiefs by the looks of it. 4 minutes still remaining, where they are down to 14 men. Big run forward from Ethan Roots. Now 10 metres out from the line. Franco Molina moving to 10 metres out. See him moving to 6. That could be an option. I mean, Dylan Richardson, they might also just stick him at 6. He has got that up his sleeve. Oh, nice pick and go there from Stuart Townsend. I think I called him Jack Maunda before, but that was incorrect. Now 3 metres out from the try line here for the Exeter Chiefs. Can they strike first in this match? Another advantage, this time for offside, going against the Sharks. Howdy, partner, says Juan Pierre Bosch. Welcome in, mate. If you are keeping well, good 2-man tackle made. Still a couple metres out from the try line. Maunda. Oh, it's not Maunda, sorry. I keep on saying Jack Maunda. 16 black offside, so that's going against Dylan Richardson, I should say. Is Ox playing? He certainly is. He's in the front row alongside Umbanambi and Trevor Nakanye. Looks like quick tap is about to be taken by the Exeter Chiefs. They've been told to use it. Dan Frost leaves it off for Vermeulen. They're only 2 metres out from the line now. He will not want to go with a pick and go when there's 2 big men sitting there for the Sharks ready to smash him. If he decides to go around the side, that is very close. And that is a try for the Exeter Chiefs. Who would have seen it coming? A great work from the Chiefs. Down a man as well. Hang on. We've got a couple whistles being blown. Bit of push and shove between Umbanambi and a couple of the Exeter Chiefs forwards. And Vanes getting a Georgia team beating. But Dan Frost, the man who has scored at the number 2 for Exeter Chiefs. They're doing okay there in Kiwi Lads. Says Roof and people buying tons of meat for their braais and rugby and braais today. Yeah, it's a big day for rugby. 3 matches, all back-to-back for the South African sides. The Lions, they will be in action tomorrow up against the Ospreys in the Challenge Cup. And come on, the Sharks, says Daniel. Yeah, certainly not the start. After the promising first 2 minutes or so, we've hardly seen them on attack, even with the man advantage. Josh Hodge just waiting for the drink bottle by the looks of it. He will have 60 seconds worth of time to be able to take this kick. But the Sharks, they will want to fire back pretty quickly. Like I mentioned, in their game up against the Storm, is something that helped them so much was the fact that they got the early tries on the board and they just kept that pressure on. Tempers fuming, says Lily. But yeah, I think there'll be a lot of frustration at the moment for the Sharks team. This start has not gone the way that they anticipated, coming in as heavy favourites in this match and just hasn't quite been the smoothest sailing for them. Plus, they've had 2 injuries, so that never helps when you lose 2 of your loose forwards in the early stages of a match. Our South African team's even trying this year. I think that we're only 15 minutes in, and I think we'll see the Sharks fire back pretty nicely from where they are at the moment. Like, they're only 7-0 down. They've got 65 minutes to play. Sharks are being out-sharked by the Shark Hunters, says Liam, although that is a knock-on from the Exeter Chiefs, and now straight away the Sharks on counter-attack. Pepsi Butalese, but that's going to be knocked on by Andre Esterhazen. They will go back for the initial knock-on, though, so this will be a scrum feed for the Sharks. Hamish, do you appreciate that I listen to the stadium here for you? Says Story Bro. It is very helpful. Of course, you normally hear the roar for when the try has been scored. Chiefs have played better since down to 14, says Kevin. Yeah, it's as if that was that little bit more concentration that they needed to be able to find their rhythm. Who's here? Or who here is out of Bry? Says Daniel. And we have got there, never go to sleep on field. Dangerous opposition gets one. Exeter, I lived there for a few years in 9. Says Ruth. Or in the 90s. Chiefs hit first with the arrow. Says a Buckman. 16 and a half minutes into this contest at the moment. And a very good position on the field for the Sharks. Grant Williams about to feed the ball in to the scrum on holiday for the rest of the year. Says, I am nutty and quiet now. And bear me, bro. Says, I am nutty. Now Dylan Richardson to get themselves that free kick at scrum time. Ebenezer trying to bundle his way through this Exeter Chiefs defence. They are still down to 14 just for now, but next time we have a stoppage, they'll be back to 15. So if the Sharks want to really make the most of it, they have to score now. Tamati Tua manages to get that ball off Jordan Hendrickson. It was in the process of making the tackle that it did bounce free. Now going off to the left-hand side, there might have even been a knock-on there from Tamati Tua, but for now it is play on. 29-7, also a big win there for them. And that makes it very interesting going into Argentina-South Africa, because that pretty much just means whoever wins that game will go through to the semi-final. Makazole Mapimpi tackled low by Emmanuel Fiawaboso, gets the offload to Fasi to Hendrickson, close to a flat pass, out to Sia Khaleesi. Tamati Tua gets the penalty, side entry in the breakdown from the Sharks. Esterhuizen and Townsend having a bit of a flex off there. There's a lot of tension in this game. I think that Townsend went in the face of Esterhuizen and kind of gave him, the little, you give him one of those. And Esterhuizen fully bit. He decided to get right in his face. So I think that, to be honest, Townsend might be trying to pick fights with the wrong players. That ball stayed in the field of play. So a mistake being made by the Exeter Chiefs, and now a counter-attacking opportunity here for the Sharks. Loose ball goes out wide to Makazole Mapimpi. I have hope in South Africa winning. Hello, says right home down under. Welcome in, Amelia. Hope you are doing well, and hope you're excited for the busy weekend of the rugby that's taking place. Superb commentary, Hamish. Take a bow. Can't believe this is YouTube. Says Kevin. Big shot coming in on Will Haydenwood. Ball's still there for the Exeter Chiefs. Had some really good possession throughout the first 20 minutes almost of this contest. I'm being told to use it. Etzebeth is ready to try and charge it down. Little chipping behind rather than going for the full-on kick, and it's going to bounce up nicely for the Exeter Chiefs. Fusi Lau now gets it on the outside. Quick hands, flat pass out to Emmanuel Fiawaboso. Fasti wants that ball, and he puts the pressure on Ethan Roots. And cheering, little chipper behind. It's going to be a foot race. Jordan Hendrickson takes it well. He's going to be tackled just out from his own goal line, about 10 metres or so that the Sharks can work with. And Town's even very British. Nice pass out wide to Makazole Mapimpi. Inside ball to Oxnish. Yeah, that was 4 to Grant Williams. If they check that, if there is a try that is scored, it will be going back. But for now, that's a really rough clean out from Oxnish. Now Pepsi Butalezi gonna be moving forward. He will score the try. Will they check it? Or is it just a try? I think they're just gonna award it. A little bit of luck for the Sharks there. A brilliant team try. Can't take it away from what they've been able to do there. Pass after pass, getting it right. But yeah, just that first ball from Oxnish to Williams. It did travel forward by half a metre or so. Not sure if it will go back far enough to have a look though. You are spot on, better than people are so-called expert by the proverbial mile, says Kevin. A nice attack and run from Ethan Hooker as well. And that gets the Sharks back into this contest, which is exactly what they needed to get on the board. And Pepsi Butalezi showing off his strength to bust through a tackle. And has done nicely. Counter-attack. Sharks biting back. Says Ruth there. Okay, they're checking with TMO. Time off. This is going to be that pass from Oxnish to Grant Williams. Now, unfortunately, if they do look at the one that I mentioned, this will be no try. If they look at anything else, it might be fine, but I believe this is a forward pass and is about to be ruled out, and that is not going to make the crowd happy one bit. Or is it? No, they've checked it and they've said, have they said it's fine? Yeah. Okay. They might have checked something else then in that case. Is injured, says Lilia B. And yeah, no Lukanyuam for this match. One of the few big players that the Sharks didn't have available for this match. Now that's a try. There's Daniel there, and that one has gone over, so that is now going to make the score 7 points each. What a load of bollocks, says HBPW, and a bit of fortune our way, says Graham. And yeah, like I said, nothing can be taken away from the team try. How many forwards did we see involved in that one for the Sharks, including the finish from Pepsi Buthelezi Oxnishi? He had to make a lot of ground as well, not just passing to Williams, but then having to join that next breakdown about 25 metres up the field. There's a reason he was nominated for Player of the Year forward pass, but we will take it, says Buckman. And yes, let's go the Sharks, says Daniel, and there as well. Now Exeter Chiefs, they have got the position, 22 metres. On the verge of reaching it here. And even Stevens neck and neck, nothing between them. Now a little grubber attempted in behind, trying to chase this one down was Tom Wyatt. Can't quite get to it, but it is still a good position on the field for the Sharks to have the line out. Our forward pass says Buckman there. And let's go the Sharks, says Damien. And good morning, says Nobman. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. 3 massive games back to back to back today. The next one, Stormers versus Toulon, will definitely be one to keep an eye on. When's the next Sevens game, Hamish, says Roof. The Sevens is actually taking place at the moment. The next one that we will have on the channel will be South Africa versus Argentina. It will be Rugby Itch doing that one for us, seeing as that's such an important game in the outcome of that group. So, yeah, he will be covering it on the channel while we are doing Stormers versus Toulon. Now, ball is there for Grant Williams at the back, 10 metres out from the line. Let's go Exeter Chiefs, says Connor there. Dive from Grant Williams. And Edouard Keita does beautifully under the high ball and has managed to regather. Now Williams will go off to the left-hand side. Jordan Hendrickse look to run it hard. A full pass by Ox, but South Africa cameraman ignores it, but we'll take it. Says Buckman there. Now it's going to be kicked in behind. Inside of the 22, waiting for the bounce of the ball. Josh Hodge has got Makazole Mapimpi near him and beautifully sold the dummy to go back onto his left foot. And there's a good kick downfield, but South Africa deciding to take it quick now with Apelele Fasi. Manages to step around Hodge. Here comes the pace of Grant Williams. Gets it off to Fasi, who has Makazole Mapimpi with him, and he finishes it in the corner. And now Mapimpi, bit of push and shove after scoring as well. And you got winning the Pumas, or the Box. Says Daniel Rugby Itch, lovely stuff, cheers. But Makazole Mapimpi, his first try in the competition. And once again, Apelele Fasi, just the game changer at the back. Like I mentioned earlier on, he looked like he was a little bit wobbled after that first initial head contact he took from Fisilau. So it is massive that he was able to stay out there on the field, because he is a game changer from the back, is able to set up tries for fun and just that quick thinking to go quickly there. Looks like most of the last ball games in the Sevens, the winner of that game goes through to the semis, says Novmum. And yes, the Sharks are on fire, says Daniel, and Sharkies ripping it, says Ruth. So yeah, it just took them around that 20 minutes or so to start finding that rhythm. But now that they've found it, I think that the Exeter Chiefs will have a very hard time trying to stop it. But Jordan Hendrickse now to line up this kick. 25 minutes through. This is to add the extra 2. Quite important in the Champions Cup, I will mention. And that's missed away to the left-hand side. Going to keep the score now at 12 points to 7. Hey, Daniel, I always back the Pumas. Are they so strong and classy? If they're having a good day, do you think you can get tickets at halftime in the stadium? Says I am nutty. Mate, I'd assume you can get tickets at any stage, to be honest. It's like a test match in cricket, how you can go on the last hour and, you know, you can still get a ticket. Normally, they'll let you in for free. I don't know whether or not that is a thing that they do at rugby games. If you arrive late enough, maybe they let you go in. No, actually, no, they probably wouldn't. They probably want you to have a ticket just so that they have your information and whatnot, just in case you're a nuisance. And, yeah, I must say their Sevens team is very good, says Daniel. You go the Sharks, says Clive. And sup, chicken butt, says Amelia. Welcome in again. You have been keeping well. Now it's going to be kicked high. Chasing after this. Makazole Mapimpi. It's been dropped backwards. Josh Hodge, I'm not sure what he was asking the referee on the sideline for. Mapimpi looking after the hooker, says Kevin. Now big run from Pepsi Buthelezi. Now offloaded up to Ethan Hooker. They will struggle to catch him as well. They've tripped each other up, but great last-ditch tackle made, but it won't be enough. And Williams gets the third try now of the match for the Sharks. The floodgates have opened, which is good news because Sharks need water to swim, of course, and to breathe. But Grant Williams gets the try 3 in 7 minutes. Exeter Chiefs have to be very careful here to not let this game completely slip away from them. It took 6 matches, but the Wellington Phoenix became the first team to soar against Auckland FC, says Kiwi Gamer. And the Pumas will come on in leaps since the last 2 years. They're just superb. Unit lost Pumas. And Sharkies ripping through Exeter now, says Ruth. Yeah. And Pepsi But the Lazy, what an impact he's had since making his way off the bench. Only got 1 game for the Springboks throughout 2024. And Hamish, I'm back. It's funny to think that the Sharks are almost the whole box squad in their team. And let's go, says Daniel. Of course, we will see a lot of other Springboks today as well. The Stormers going to be playing Toulon. That is the next game that has taken place only in less than 2 hours' time. And then also the Bulls. They'll be going head-to-head with Saracens, and we will be covering those two on the channel as well. Sharks have warmed up now. Yep, they found their rhythm. And Exeter Chiefs, it's not a good sight at the moment. When you look at the players, their hands on hips, underneath the post, they are out on their feet almost. And we've got to remember, this game being played in about 27, 28 degree temperatures. So, yeah, it's certainly going to be fatiguing as this game continues at this pace. Go the Sharks, says Subramani. And also we have got their Hamish, you look fantastic again, fresh and smooth, your commentary rocks, says Ruth. How's the Stormers team look? Do you know, says Marnus? We actually do. We've got all the teams here. One moment, we'll go like that. There you go. That's what the Stormers look like. So they got Marnie Libok at number 10. No Damien Valimza, of course, due to his injury. And then in terms of the four-pack, I mean, still looking pretty strong overall. Looks like Tamati Tua has actually made his way off the field for an HIA. Well cleaned up by Scott Seo. And Exeter Chiefs back in position once again. Are you going to the Rugby World Cup 2027? Not at this stage. But who knows? Maybe if we get the opportunity to. Oh, that's going to be knocked on by the Exeter Chiefs. And once again, Ethan Hooker will pick the ball up. And again, another attacking chance. Although Exeter Chiefs getting over the ball would have won the penalty. But they will go back for the initial knock-on. Scrum feed for the Sharks. Couldn't inform you of the cheering. So I was talking to my cousin, says cool story, bro. Hands on hip already, says Lilia B. Ours, that was a tsunami coming from Sharks, no defence from Exeter. Sasha playing in the Stormers game, says Daniel. I'll just quickly go like that. He is not. No, he's not on the bench either. Sasha Fainberg Ngome Zulu. I know that he played last week, though, so I'm not sure whether or not he injured himself more or they're just resting him for this one. Looks like a bit of an injury here for Umbanumbi. Looks like it might be the thumb or the finger. He's having a bit of a struggle with. Some more tape going on. The 2 fingers there. It looks like Umbanumbi's getting his hand wrapped like he's a boxer. And watch out for Ethan Hooker, big and strong lad. Yeah, I hope he gets opportunities next year. I mean, and the amount of players that we've seen tried out by Rassi Erasmus this year, perhaps Ethan Hooker won't be a mile away from getting another call-up. In my day, bruised faces, split lips, and headaches were a normal part of a rugby game. Can't stand this H&F soft rugby, says Robert. And remember Butch James and Robbie Fleck. And how many English Test players in this Chiefs team? Emmanuel Fiwa-Bosso. I think that's it, to be honest. Like, there might be a couple, like 1 or 2 Test cap kind of guys. But in terms of the starting lineup, just Emmanuel Fiwa-Bosso. And he's only just come onto the scene for the English. Did they miss the kick again? It is 19-17, so that kick did go over. My apologies. Scoreboard hadn't quite updated. Now rolling maul, or at least it almost turned into a rolling maul without the ball there. Too much movement at scrum time. Stuart Hodge for Scotland says, I am nutty. And we have got there as well, Butch hit hard, but Robbie Fleck. Do you think Ethan Hooker is a better centre or wing? Honestly, I think he can play either. So that versatility is something that could also benefit him in the future if they need someone to replace someone out on the wing or whether they need another centre. Many good young centres now, Creel, Hinko, Hooker. I hope Rassi use them next year. Yeah, I feel like David Creel's one of those guys that unfortunately may just never quite get their chance until the current batch of players like Lukanyuam and Jesse Creel are gone. Until then, though, I think he will be the one that they don't really look at too much, even though he stands out often when he plays for the Bulls. That is going to be the penalty going the way of the Sharks. At scrum time, this might get ugly, says Skywalker. Yeah, if Exeter can't start to make a few more important tackles, the Sharks have just shown quick ball, couple little snappy passes, and they're through. Ethan Roots is kept by England, says Sean O'Farrell. And the Chiefs are in a total rebuild, as their league position shows. Yeah, they're dead last at the moment in the Premiership. Lost quite a few of their experienced guys as well. I think the Lions will be too strong for the Wallabies, says Neil. The good news, though, is Australia are in a much better position currently than it looked like they were going to be. Like Joe Schmidt, if he sticks around, maybe Australia don't win that tour, but at least, it's looking like it could be a little bit more competitive. We saw Australia do pretty well. That wasn't that straight from Bongion Manambi, but straight enough, says the referee. Now looking for this rolling maul. That's going to be off the back. Manambi gets it away to Emil van Heeren. Only 5 metres out. There was a loose ball. That's going to be a double blow of the whistle. This is a yellow card for the Exeter Chiefs. Just a really dumb play to swipe that ball away in the breakdown. I think it was the replacement who was on the field for Tamati Tua, who will now make his way off the park. He looks frustrated, as you should be, when you've only just made your way on and now you're already making your way off. Game will be a blockbuster. Will be Sharks versus Toulouse, as if Toulouse brings their A game to South Africa. And when does the British and Irish Lions tour start, says Daniel? It is next year in July, I want to... No, it might not be July. It's actually a little bit earlier, I think. I might have to look that up. I've actually forgotten what date it's going to be starting. We'll have a quick look. A very good position on the field. British and Irish Lions tour date. 28th of June, so just that little bit earlier than July, but it does take place throughout July by the looks of that. And now, waiting for this ball. Looks like it's going to be swatted back there, and the advantage. And a great turnover there from the Exeter Chiefs. Last week, the Stormers front row scrum. The Box front row. Are they overrated, the front row of the Sharks, says Daniel? Depends on their day. Like the three that they've got here. Oxlade, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's one of the best props, if not the best prop in world rugby at the moment. Umbanambi can have his on and off days. And then Trevor Nakanye, he's getting towards the later stages of his career. But at the end of the day, on any given day, that scrum can be extremely dominant for the Sharks. Every once in a while, though, there'll be a matchup that doesn't quite suit them, or maybe they're just not quite getting the push right. But that's just the beauty of rugby. Sometimes you just never know what's going to happen. What a privilege to be part of this competition, says WLK. It is absolutely awesome. 24 teams all going head-to-head. Some brilliant matchups still to take place for both of these sides. Now, big scrum from the Sharks front row, but the ball is available here. Off the back, it's going to be Fusilau. Marathon Rugby Commentary weekend for Hamish. Brilliant, says Ruth, and go the Sharks, says Marion. Oh, ball was out. A little bit of pressure being put on, and that is exactly what the Sharks want. Partial charge down. Now it's going to be a 3-on-2 out wide. No-look pass, and that's a knock-on from Makazole Mapimpi. Not the best pass in his direction. Oh, captain's being called over. What is this for? Oh, no, scrum or line out is what it's for. I thought it was something more serious there. I'm South African. Can I automatically play for Mauritius? Beast Rugby Club. No idea, to be honest. I don't know what Mauritius's selection policy is. And Damons is overrated as Lebokas, says Buckman. Of course, Marty Libok going to be starting at 10 here for the Stormers in the next game up against Toulon, and that is a side that has a few hidden gems in it. That is for sure. Now going off to the left-hand side, big shot. Carvin and Exeter needs to get some reinforcement, not defending enough, says Ruth. And pep in his hands, says Ato. Looking to kick this one downfield again will be Stuart Townsend. Lebock have the razzle-dazzle, says Damien. Partially charged down again by the Sharks. Makazole Mapimpi. Calm under pressure, gets it away to Emil van Heeren. Gets it across to Hendrickson. Now Keita in open space, has men with him and decides to use him. Ethan Hooker somehow manages to stay in the field of play. That is absolutely brilliant work. Williams with the pick and go and the pace to match. Exeter Chiefs trying to get over the ball, but they've now lost their footing. How you doing, Stormers Toulon? We certainly are. Now going back across, Andre Esterhuizen. It goes to Sia Khaleesi. A slip comes from the Exeter Chiefs, and the Springboks skipper scores try number 4 here for the Sharks. Pronounced pup. Is South African stiff porridge? Please don't spoil my rugby watching by mentioning Mahoney, says Aniko. Now Sia Khaleesi managing to score again here. Sharks have found their rhythm. That is for sure. This is what constant pressure does. Exeter cracked by the Sharkies. And yeah, just those partial charge downs being a bit of a game changer here for the Sharks. We mentioned about it throughout the first 15 minutes or so. They just couldn't get territory. Like the first 2 minutes, the Sharks were hot attack. Then from there, the next maybe 10 or so minutes, even when Exeter had the man, tell you what, that was a little bit risky from Makazole Mapimpi there. Sia Khaleesi was on his knees celebrating, and then Makazole Mapimpi jumped on him and kind of brought him over backwards. That could have been a knee injury if he wasn't careful. Who was the hooker you were talking about? I'm Pimp. I need some good hookers. Well, Ethan Hooker, one of the best around. Not probably for what you want to use him for, but in terms of centres, he's your guy. I like Fussy, all or nothing player, some good stuff mixed in with some bad stuff. Much like Villy, good. And which team are you supporting? I'm just enjoying the Champions Cup. It's one of those competitions that when you get to see all the best sides from different competitions go head to head, like it is pretty awesome. That kick has gone over, 26 points to 7 now the score. I did not expect the score, to be honest, says Graham. And the money invested in the Sharks could fund a small country, says Nico. Yeah, they've certainly got a bit of money across their side. But it's great to see that that has translated into good rugby this year. I know last year they were pretty disappointed about the signings that they had and the lack of maybe results that they had put together. At the end of the day, they still won the Challenge Cup, though. They had the most trophies out of any South African side for their year. Also out of the back, caps and seed many runs. Are we a Cook? Not going to lie. Yeah, no, they're not going well at the Basin. Now, nicely taken by Josh Hodge. Hendrickson, Sasha, the Springbok future at 10. Says WLK, nice spin coming here from Dan Frost, trying to get something going for the Exeter Chiefs. But again, the ball is loose and good pressure. Edwin Keita, he's joined the breakdown from the wrong side there. Didn't interfere through the gate. Apologises to his teammates. Hamish, the Sharks are effective even on land, not only in the ocean. Says Kevin. While they hate for money, he's a good running first 5. Says Damien. Well, that's the thing. Like, Marnie Lebock, I still think is one of the best attacking 10s in World Rugby. It's just the kicking tee that people do judge him off completely. But I have said it many times. There is a way to set up this Springbok side where you can have Marnie Lebock as the 10 and you can still have a kicker in your lineup. You know, whether or not that's Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu taking on that number 15 jersey or playing Pollard at 12 or any of these other options, you know, Hendrickson even at 12. There's ways that they can get around it. He has a 10, says Nico B. And we have got there will be a bit of a surprise that the Box B team didn't beat the worst team in England League at home. Yeah. I mean, my prediction might have been a little bit low. I said 40-20 in favour of the Sharks, but at the moment, it seems like if they can continue scoring the way that they have in this first half, like, yeah, could be dangerous. Oh, little chipping behind from the Exeter Chiefs, playing a bit of territory. 5 metres out from their line now, the Sharks. They'll only have 20 seconds to work. I agree with you, Hamish, with the comments on money, 100%. Says Damien. I think they have to compete for this one, the Exeter Chiefs, or else the Sharks will just be able to boot this into touch, and we will go into halftime. 26 points to 7 on the score sheet. But a pretty dominant first half, I do have to say, from the Sharks after the way that it started. No, we beat Malaysia 4-0 in the football. I did not know that, no. Now ready to throw this one in. Bongi Manambi got it a little bit wrong. Williams forced backwards. Probably wanted that ball. It's going to be a penalty to the Exeter Chiefs. They are right. Hang on, they've scored. It's not a penalty. The ball is down. And Dan Frost scores right at the end of the first half. And that is a bit of a golden opportunity there for Exeter. They will take that one every day of the week, closing the gap a little bit. It looked like they got it a little bit wrong. Umbanambi waiting too long to throw it to Etzebeth, which then put pressure on Grant Williams, and then they had the advantage for not releasing, and then just picks that ball up, puts it down. Dan Frost does extremely well. Now, Grant Williams was extremely close to getting that ball grounded in the in-goal area, which of course would have warranted the end of the half. Now, chance here out wide, best weather, or better weather than La Rochelle game at least, says I am nutty. And I having biltong, drawers, and ice cold beer, T-bones tonight, says a to. Sounds like a pretty decent feed for yourself. Now, getting ready to line this one up is Josh Hodge. Taking some deep breaths. Taking his time here. Doesn't want to make any sort of big mistake off the kicking tee. Food, sex and long walks on the beach. Says go story, bro. And that kick has gone over. So the score between these two sides, 26 points to 14. Will you do live match between Glasgow Warriors versus Sale? I'll be honest. I was very undecided in terms of which game to do between Glasgow Warriors versus Sale or Harlequins versus Racing 92. So in the end, I didn't schedule a game for that time, and I might end up just watching both of them at the same time off live stream. But yeah, we'll see how it goes overall. I feel like those two games are two that I really want to watch, but then I also don't want to watch them simultaneously, if that makes sense. I want to know what's happening in both games, but I feel like I might watch one and then watch the other one on replay after. If you guys not heard of the salary caps, all the teams have the same. Spend on the players, how well you spend is up to the team. Says Jan Louis there. And X back in it. And Racing versus the Harlequins says I am nutty. If you already have three tens, Pollard, Sacha Feinberg, Ngume, Zulu, and Jordan, they can already do kick and run. Why do you select a fly half that can only run? Marnie is fourth choice at best, says Bachman. Yeah, I feel like out of that list that you've given, though, they would give Marnie Libok at least number 2, if not 1, when it comes to the attacking ability as a 10. And like I said, you've listed 2 players there that can play 15 and 1 that can play 12 who can also kick from those positions. So, yeah, I get why people dislike Marnie Libok in terms of the kicking tee, but I mean, the amount of tries that he has created for South Africa, he was a part of that change that we saw in the South African mindset where they went from scoring 2 or 3 tries a game to scoring 5 or 6. Like, he was one of the main reasons that change happened, because he was able to create opportunities from that 10 jersey. Do you have an All Blacks rugby jersey? I do. I think it's like about a 2021, that lino. Ripped his pants there. He didn't want to give that try, says Fleshin. A beef makes the box big, says a toy in there as well. But we are currently halftime in this contest. 26 points to 14. Just looking through at the reserves for this match, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Dylan Richardson already on the field due to the injury that we saw of James Fenta. Pepsi Buthelezi also already out there on the park. That was due to the injury of Vincent Tichuca, but still having Hendrikse, Masuku, and also Francois Fenta to all make their way off the bench later on in this game. Also Jason Jenkins, probably for Emil van Heeren, I would say, as the sub that they'll make there for Exeter. They have also had the change of Will Rigg. He made his way on, then made his way straight off because he got yellow carded. They have still got Vincent and Tichuca, or Chinza, I should say, in that number 19 jersey. The group that they are a part of is Pool 1. The Sharks, Ulster, Exeter, Leicester, Toulouse, and Bordeaux. So 2 French sides, 2 English teams, an Irish team, and a South African side. So the URC has 2, Premiership has 2, and the top 14 has the 2 as well. And for these 2 sides, for the Sharks next week, they will be playing the Leicester Tigers, then followed by 2 South African derbies. Always very entertaining when we see that take place. And then for the Exeter Chiefs, they have got the game up against Toulouse, which will be a tough one. I have to say that is probably pretty lucky that is at home for the Exeter Chiefs rather than heading to France, because any time a side faces Toulouse in France, it's always very difficult. And that will still be extremely difficult as well. Then they've got the 2 games of the Premiership Rugby to close out their 2024. Armani is by far the best 10 on attack. Wait, does it have AIG? I think so. I think it has got AIG on it. And the Aussies scare the sheep. And points win matches. Money is very good attacking player, but I feel he needs a backup for kicking goals. Whereas Georgia, I haven't seen him in your streams yet, says NZ Lad. He's been around like probably, I'd say 3 times in the last week or so. We've been doing filming for the other channel. So, yeah, he's still around. He just hasn't really done any live streams for the rugby side of things. And that is also down to the time that a lot of these games do start. He's currently working silage and, chopping jobs. So that does take a lot of time. Definitely if the weather's nice, there's times that he'll still be working at about 12 midnight. And we just, don't really get the chance to do too many live streams. The recording works well because we can schedule that around what's happening for his job. But then 7 streams and those type of ones, it's very hard to find a good time. Half-time, Clermont are up 21-0 up against Benetton. The Black Lions 13-0 or 13-7 up against Vannes, I think is how you say that one. Bayonne 14 points to 13 up against the Scarlets. Okay, so a couple of close games in the Challenge Cup, whereas the 2 games in the Champions Cup are a little bit more one-sided, I guess you could say. It's funny to fast forward Hamish while he's speaking. Says, I am nutty. What's the point of having a backup to kicker for your kicker? Says Nico B. Yeah, like I said, Sacha Feinberg Ngomazulu, he played pretty well at 15 throughout the Rugby Championship. Now, I don't think at the moment, based off form, you can take up a Lilefasi out of that Springbok side because he has been very strong. But maybe Sacha Feinberg, when he comes back, they look at him as a 15. Yes, he can play 10, but a lot of the games that we saw him, it was either playing 10 for the final moments or he was making his way off the bench and slotting in somewhere else in that back line. And Story Dupont makes it extra exciting. Position stats, please, says Lilia B. We will get those up while we wait for the second half to take place. We'll go here and we will go here as well. And Polo by far the best BMT kicker. And also creates tries with both kicking phases and offloading phases. The debate is about number 2 and 3 at 10. Hamish, we know why New Zealand wants Marnie Libok at 10, says Buckman. Didn't Marnie Libok play 10 in that game where the Springboks dominated New Zealand just before the World Cup? Wasn't he the 10 in that game? If I'm not wrong, didn't he really just butcher New Zealand? So I don't know whether New Zealand want him as that number 10. But looking at the match stats, for this one, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen 6 tries scored already throughout this matchup. We have seen in terms of the breakdown, we've got that stat. We've got discipline. We've seen 6 penalties going against the Sharks compared to the 5 of Exeter, but they've already had 2 yellow cards throughout this one. On attack so far, we've seen 445 metres made by the Sharks compared to the 141 made by Exeter. And clean breaks 13-3. Defenders beaten 21-5. A lot going the way of the Sharks. Position is actually 50-50 at the moment. Is there any chance that we will see you doing any streams of the Black Caps and All Whites playing cricket or football? Maybe some Black Caps cricket over the summer, depending on, once again, what overlaps with it. The likes of today, I wasn't able to cover any of the cricket because I was actually playing cricket myself. And then just quickly looking at the defensive stat as well before we get ready for the second half in terms of the numbers there. For the defense that we've seen in this game so far, we've seen an 82% tackle completion from the Sharks. They have made 54 tackles. And then for the Exeter Chiefs, they have made 51, but they've missed quite a few, missing 39% of their tackles. And definitely during that busy period for the Sharks, that's when we saw most of the tries being scored. And Sharks Vasi says ball there. And get Percy Montgomery back. Beautiful sight here to die for, says Ruth. And Hate Eggs says a two. And there as well. So we'll ask, while we are still at the weekend, or sorry, not at the weekend, at the halftime break as well, we've heard quite a bit about a Bry. We've heard about the Borrowers, whose name I always mispronounce. Also, what else have we heard about? What's a good thing to braai, ladies and gentlemen? In terms of what you would pick if you had your dream braai, what would you have on it? And loving the commentary, really appreciate it. Thank you, says Robert. No worries at all. Do you play rugby over the weekend? Says NZ Lad. I do not know. Just play a bit of cricket in my spare time. The second half, I think we're going to see the tempo matched for what we saw in the first half. Definitely because it's so warm. I think both sides will try and exhaust the opposition. I think we're seeing a lot more of the Sharks trying to run the Exeter Chiefs off their feet rather than the other way around. But Exeter just need to get some possession, get their hands on the ball and keep it that way. Labok and Yankees at the fridge for midnight snacks. Karoo lamb chops, says Albert. So what is karoo? Is that like the seasoning on it, or is that like the location where the lamb is from? Grant Sports would have a Kiwi bird. He certainly would. Can't imagine that would be that nice, though. No, Plymouth and Palmerston North are good, to be honest. Not bad. Says NZ Lad. Yeah, just showing a few of the highlights of the sevens. Just while we're at it, we might as well mention the sevens as well. Karoo is the location, says Albert there. So in terms of the sevens results, of course, a massive game coming around the corner. That is going to be the matchup taking place between South Africa and Argentina, and that is going to be massively important for who makes it through to the next stage. And Lamb Chiopi, hopefully I said that correctly, but I think I might have mispronounced it. Chakalaka, says Martin in there too. Yeah, so, wow, we saw Fiji beat Uruguay in the sevens, 70 points to 7. Whereas Great Britain, in their game up against Uruguay, won 33 points to 15. So if that's anything to base it off, we're going to see a pretty one-sided game a little bit later on as well. Who else have we seen in the men's? New Zealand got themselves a win over the USA. Argentina beat Ireland. And then, yeah, a couple more games taking place a little bit later on, including New Zealand versus France and Fiji versus Great Britain. So have to wait and see how those matches do end up going. I heard that an All Black play a collab with a famous Belgium YouTuber called Celine Dept, says NZ Lad. An All Black player. Which one was it? NZ Lad, do let me know. I made a point of throwing lamb chops on the braai at least once a month with my sirloin matured steak, says Albert. I'm starving now. T-bones, chops, mashed potato, sweet corn, says Ruth. Yeah, it definitely makes you hungry talking about the food on the live streams. Although, to be fair, I did bring it up, so it is my own fault. Of course, it's getting closer to tea time for you guys in South Africa. When you come to South Africa, try mfino and bachanga, delicious, says Graham. And the pot and Kiwi Lad, says Ruth. Oh, my Barbie, I prefer cute dresses, says I'm Nutty. That doesn't even surprise me, I'm Nutty, I'll be honest. Now, second half, I would say only a couple minutes away. Now, the next game that we are covering on the channel will be starting in only an hour and 10 minutes' time. That is the matchup between the Stormers and Toulon. Should be a very entertaining one. Then following that game, it will be Saracens versus the Bulls. So 3 South African matches back to back to back. Karua's area of the desert here, says Ruth. I feel like we've done all this talking about some fancy foods and some good sounding foods, and I'll probably just end up having like a piece of toast for breakfast, and then I will head to bed all ready to go for tomorrow night. We've got more sevens, and we will also have hopefully some more Champions Cup if it does work out in terms of the schedule. Have the Exeter Chiefs gone bad lately? Yeah, they are bottom of the table in the Gallagher Premiership. They've lost a lot of players this year compared to last, and overall, like, for them to be down by 12, I think they'd almost take that. The way that they started this match, it looked like they were going well, but then from there, we just saw multiple tries being rained in. I think we saw 3 tries in 7 minutes for the Sharks. Karoo produces top-class lamb, best in the world, says Graham there. And here in South Africa, it's not just a good meat and braai that's famous, but even better is the traditional desserts. And we have got there, what is your favourite food to braai? Is that for me or for the people in the chat? That's the 24 hours Test cricket right now. Just saw Proteas are playing Sri Lanka. Yeah, there's plenty that are taking place. We've seen New Zealand versus England. We've seen Australia versus India also taking place. For me, I mean, I'm a pretty basic boy, just a good meat patty on a barbecue. Put it in a burger or a sausage. Sausage goes a long way. A little bit shorter than a bordeaux, but still does the job. Wait, that sounds like I'm describing something else. Condensed milk is still the best pudding, says Outlaw. Welsh salt marsh lamb is the best in the world, says Blession. There were like many All Blacks players. I wasn't able to see the faces, but I did see Artie Savia, I think, says NZ Lad. Currently 26 points to 14. These two sides making their way back out onto the field. Ready to go for the second 40 minutes. It is still extremely warm at the ground. Trevor Nakanye makes his way back out there. Be feeling fresh for the second half. Love the description. Sweet you are, Hamish, with caramel. Killing time sharks, says Danian. And proper milk tart. It's hard to beat. And Exeter will come out strong. 2 quick tries, says Joseph. So you're saying they're going to get straight back into this game. To be fair, if they did that, it would make it a very entertaining second half of this contest if we end up seeing them score 1 even at the start. But they pretty much will know if they can see 1 more try before scoring, they're done in this game. Like, yes, there's still a very slim chance of a comeback, but up against the Sharks later on, in the heat as well, you've got to strike early before that exhaustion starts to kick in. And thank goodness you back for us that don't have a live, says Terry G. And we are covering a lot of the Champions Cup games on the channel, as well as the URC for not next week, but the weekend after. The Sevens as well on the channel. We got plenty more action coming up, and then we're jumping into the Six Nations as well as Super Rugby when we get round to February. Sharks going to come out firing, says Lilia B. And how would you react if someone give you a sausage, some macaroni and cheese and turkey? I would be a little bit confused. And also, I would probably be a little bit suspicious. Definitely if it was just randomly on the street. Someone was like, hey, I've got you a sausage. First of all, I'd have to really get them to clarify what they mean. Give me 6-1, says Joseph. To Sky TV have URC and the Champions Cup, says Annoy. Sky TV has got the Champions Cup. URC is on TVNZ here in New Zealand. Good thing the Bulls aren't playing at home because it's 36 degrees Celsius in Pretoria today. That would be a bit too warm, I would say. Makazole Mapimpi not quite getting that jump right, and he's managed to take the ball back. He was too busy complaining to the touch judge, but the ball was just thrown straight to him. Andre Estes and goes on the outside to Apalele Fassi. That is a sneaky little kick, and it has stayed in the field of play, has it? No. Maybe just brushing the touchline. So is that 6-1 live odds, Joseph? Because if that's all they're offering for Exeter to win, that is not the best, I have to say. I would have thought that they'd be a lot higher than that, seeing as they were about 7-1 at the start of the game. Now line out chance here for the Exeter Chiefs. Pasta with sausage on a rugby match and sausage and tomato sauce, French loaf. Now it's going to be the scrum. They have decided to go with Goodrig Clark. Makes his way onto the field. That is for Scott Seo. Hamish, who's going to score first here now. I do think we're due another Grant Williams try, to be honest, or maybe someone in the centres for the Sharks. Feels warmer than 36 with humidity. Any changes to the teams? Just the change at prop. That is a penalty now. Going the way of Exeter Chiefs, and Goodrick Clark already making that impact. I like it's not too hot here. I'd just rather take your money, says Joseph. Like, my money? There's not much to take, unfortunately. Cabbage and carrots is very healthy, says Outlaw. That is true. It's lucky it's not too hot here. And Savariga Proti is slow going, says Graham. And cabbage is for rabbits, says Ruth. Exeter Chiefs need to be consistent and don't concede any fouls. Yeah, they've already had 2 yellow cards from 5 penalties, so that's kind of impressive in some regards that they've given away only a few penalties but still has spent 20 minutes off the field. do you get lots of rain after a few hot days there in Pretoria? Says Hanoi. Now, short ball there, nice, quick hands coming. They've hardly had it out to Whiwa Bosso, I do have to say, which may be who they will try and target in the second half. Fusilao hangs onto it, tackled up by Zolema Pimpi. Moving up to 23 metres out from the line here. Townsend goes across. So far, the Sharks have been pretty solid on their defence, about 80% tackling completion rate throughout that first 40 minutes. Trevor Nakanye locks over the ball, and he gets the turnover. And that is the momentum shifter. Trevor Nakanye just getting that steal that was required. Jordan Hendricks looking to get it into touch. Does just that big storm building to the north of Pretoria right now, so I hope it rains. We had rain here yesterday, but sunny and hot here and now in Cape Town. I think that's more a Durban thing. Says, cool story, bro. Now line out here for the Sharks after winning that penalty. This will be about 40 metres out. 6 penalties against the Chiefs. 7 against the Sharks. Stay strong, Sharks. Says Martin there as well. Now ready to throw this one in. Now, nicely done. Moves up. Oh, that was almost going to be the Exeter Chiefs ball, but they've given away the advantage for the player not rolling away. Inside ball from Jaden Hendricks. Goes off to Pepsi Butalezi, who has already looked really strong since making his way off the bench early. Trevor Nakanye tries to sell the dummy, but no one's fallen for it, but they will go back for the original penalty. And normally we do. We are going through a really bad drought at the moment. It's hot and bone dry in Pretoria, says Stefan. Is it true Durban folks can't speak Afrikaans? I've been seeing a lot of memes online, and Stormers was still on going to be a cracker. Oh, deciding to go for the 3 points here, the Sharks. Now, it's an interesting choice, but if this kick goes over, they will then be 15 points ahead, which means that the Exeter Chiefs would have to score more than 2 tries to win this game. Cabbage and carrots is nature's Viagra, says Outlaw. Someone's knocking on your door saying, enjoy your gift, lad, and then you realise it's a signed Beauden Barrett All Blacks jersey. How would you react? I'd be very confused at how Beauden Barrett found my house, but I would happily accept. Are you in New Zealand? Same time as Sydney. So New Zealand, we are 3:13. I think in Sydney at the moment it's 1:13 a.m. So they're a couple hours behind us. And now, lining up this kick, Hendricks struck it very well and straight down the middle. So that'll make the score now 29 points to 14. Currently 15 points difference between these two sides. Durban is either English or Zulu. And Stormers versus Geelong going to be a cracker. It certainly is. Plus Saracens Bulls happening straight after it. We are spoiled for Champions Cup rugby action. Now nicely slapped back by Emmanuel Fiawa-Bosso. Straight back in possession. Here are the Exeter Chiefs. 1:13 a.m. here on the east coast of Oz. Oh, Fiawa-Bosso. That was Edwin Keita making a tackle off the ball. Fusilao. Again going to be tackled by Trevor Nakanye and Dylan Richardson. Another man who had to make his way on the field early due to the injury. We also haven't seen the return of Tama Titua, so he must have failed the HIA. Smart play, says Lilia B. Cabbage makes extra gas, boom, says Ruth. Trying to get over the ball, Pepsi Butalezi, and it's going to be the penalty for their hands going down. 34 minutes still remaining. Looks like Exeter Chiefs are going to be looking for the corner here. Might not be a bad choice. What's wrong with poor Beauden? Says Ruth. Not a lot, I don't think. He's been going all right. Number 10-wise, he's made a few errors, but he's still going well enough. He's quite hot, says Ruth. So you're saying that's what's wrong with him? Struth, says Mr. Marmite. Now, line out throw for the Exeter Chiefs. They are 15 metres out from the Sharks line. Throwing this one in, stolen by the home side there, although well picked up. I think Franco Molina was the man who managed to win it straight back. The knees are down for Fusilao. They have to get out of there. Now Goodrick Clark Again, going to be taken down nice and low. Big attack and run from Vermeulen, but he drops the ball. So they will now go back for the original infringement. It's Bovril is around. Geordie might struggle to get a game in Leinster season. Oh, yeah, he's coming off the bench in the game tomorrow. So, hopefully he gets a few minutes in that regard. Is there any club you support in Premier League? Not really. I would like to, at some stage, find a team and start supporting them, but I just don't follow it enough. And I feel like if I was to do that, I want to follow them each and every week. It's the same with the NBA. I'd love to get an NBA team, but I just don't know who's actually good. But I also don't know hardly any of the players, so I don't want to be generic and just go for a team that should win. I feel like I wouldn't mind a mid-table type of side, maybe in both departments. Now ready to throw this one in, nicely taken this time by the Exeter Chiefs. Rolling maul opportunity. It has been shut down well by the Sharks, although it is still slightly moving. Going to be hard to get that ball out, but it is available. Ooh, almost driven onto his back. That is always risky. It's like a few players are being held down here on the near side, or at least are trapped underneath. I think Emil van Heeren was flattening Trevor Nakanye. Now across again, Fusilao, Arsenal, says Lilia B. Now back across, yeah, Fiwa Boso having a bit of a handling error, but does almost help him out through a gap. A bit of wrestling going on between Andre Esterhazen and the much smaller number 13, Ben Hammersley. You support Nottingham Forest, mate? Elliot and Chris Wood plays. That is true. It's been going very well for Nottingham Forest as of late by the looks of it. Nice run down the short side for Mullen, but they'll go back. Okay, I think that they've gone back for a penalty to the Sharks for a bit of obstruction here. Sharks defence. And Champions Cup final is in Wales this year. Another new country for Leinster to lose, and says I am nutty. If you're used to cabbage, there's no more gas. And also we have got the at-score. I remember, so many are nice. And Arsenal sucks, says Mr. Marmite and Bristol Bear Bro. I get on the I should know how to say it. Is it Loner train? I think it is. You got a Pat Lam connection. Yeah, just nice work. Yeah, it's a tackle off the ball, but he was in front of the man, so that is why it's considered as the penalty. And I wouldn't be surprised as a Leinster fan. I hope for Cullen to get the sack. But unfortunately, no luck. Boston Celtics, Hamish, they're a team to beat. Morning Tribal Chief. Sharks all the way, says Hendrick. Now getting ready to throw this one in. Nicely taken at the front. Now Mbanumbi goes across now to Siokolisi. Oh, that looked like maybe a little bit high from Andre Esterhazen in the clean out. Pepsi Butalesi. Now 30 minutes remaining on the clock. Emil van Heeren. Nice attack and run from him. Like Pepsi Butalesi staying down for a little bit longer. Apalele Fasi tries to kick him behind. That one does not work. Although Hodge putting himself under pressure at the back. Going to be playing just for now. Manuel Fiwa-Boso tackled by Itzebeth. Take back what you said about Arsenal. I have a Dreamcast Arsenal shirt. Alona Ma, the US Sevens convert. Says Samuel there. Now ready to put this one high. Looked like he was a little bit ginger when he took that kick, Stuart Townsend. Maybe nursing a bit of an injury at the moment. Now back across. Emil van Heeren on the halfway line here for the Sharks, looking for another try. They've already got themselves the bonus point from this game. And nice take from Emmanuel Fiwa-Boso. Lands hard on his back. Ball stolen in the breakdown by the Sharks. Hodge kicks it forward and is able to chase after it. Hendricks going to be tackled there as well. Now Apalele Fasi or Hodges hurt himself making that tackle. There's a lot of injuries coming from this game. Prem football, too much falling about. That one's going to stay in the in-goal area, and I think it was forced. by Tom White. Very casual in the way that he did it. Healthy food is never popular. Says Outlaw. What does Ulster need to do to get competitive? I mean, up against Toulouse this weekend, it's going to be pretty tricky. It's a pretty strong Toulouse lineup that they've gone with. But to be honest, it's just finding a little bit of chemistry. Like, they are a great side and they can beat top teams when they get it right. Looks like Austin Share will make his way from the field. That is for Ntatuku Machunu. He'll make his way on. Beefsteak via for healthy food, says Ator. And Ulster Spurs of Irish Rugby. Trevor Kanye also making his way from the field. And it looks like there's a change happening for the Exeter Chiefs as well. They have brought on Ross Vincent. Cabbage, lovely stuff, fried with onion and garlic, magic. There's Graham, no wonder didn't see Tamati Tua in Northland team playing for the Chiefs. Media's not that healthy, says Outlaw. Now Etzebeth claiming the goal line dropout. Andre Esterhazen trying to bump his way through one challenge of Capstick. Ntatuku Machuno, his first carry of the day. Makes a couple metres in the process, and another penalty goes the way of the Sharks against Franco Molina this time. Oh no, in fact, sorry, it was actually Ethan Roots. He's been penalised for that one. And Ox had a quiet game, says Lilia B. He had a couple good moments, though. Oxnashare, we've got to remember he was one of the main reasons, well, maybe not one of the main reasons, but certainly heavily involved in that Pepsi Butalazy try with his pass and then joining the breakdown. Skate on the field, haven't heard his name much. He is still out there, it just hasn't really gone to his wing. They've definitely been looking at Makazole Mapimpi's side as the more, I guess, busy side of the field. Eggs are much better than meat, says Outlaw. Outlaw is part of the sheep family. Says Ator. Now we're going off to the right-hand side. Andre Esterhazen, 5 metres from the line. Chance here for the Sharks, and it's going to be dropped by Ethan Hooker. Of course, Arsenal they are the greatest ever football nation. Sharks have lost their way a little, says Kevin. Loose ball and jumping on it there. It's one Cater having a knock on there as well. Exeter need to push it a bit here. Come on, another try, says Ruth. Sharks have lost their way a little bit. Yeah, they just haven't quite found that rhythm in the second half, have they? But that 3 points could be massive for them, being able to get that and add it to their score sheet. Could be the big difference maker in this Champions Cup game. Eggs come from chicken's ass, says Ator. Can Ireland put a team in the Premier League? Wales used to have one, I think. And also we've got their Sharks playing solid rugby on a roll here, says Blues Nate. Crowd absolutely loving this game by the looks of it. And meat takes longer to go out of the body, says Outlaw. The only time Football World Cup will go to England if it's to get someone else's name engraved on it, says I am nutty. Now scrum feed for the Exeter Chiefs. They're only 5 metres out from their own line, so a little bit of ground needs to be made before they get a good attacking chance. Beef and lamb, the most nutrient-dense food you can eat. He's very healthy too, says Stefan. Now big scrum coming in. They get themselves the penalty. Hamish knows how to tell a bull story. That's great work in the front row from the Chiefs. A lot of work to do in this match. 25 minutes remaining. The Sharks have hit a little bit of a wall. So have the Chiefs, though. Are you cheering? Says, good story, bro. Just losing that bind with Thuko Machunu. Does end up getting penalised. The Chiefs are fired up. That is one thing that is for sure. But line out throw here. Needs to get this one right for Josh Innard. And it's overthrown. Sits up here for the Sharks, and that is Jordan Hendrickson going through to Sia Khaleesi, and he will score it between the sticks. mistake at line-out time for the Chiefs. And a brilliant one to get. People are ripping their shirts off in the crowd. They are very happy with that one. And that should now secure this game for the Sharks. But Siya Kolisi, 2 tries already in this match. I believe they would make him the leading try scorer of the URC, or sorry, not the URC, but the Champions Cup at the moment. I'm trying to think if anyone got a double for La Rochelle or Bath yesterday. And Stubbs and Bavuma inching along, 127 for 3, and munching on cabbage. Thinks munching on T-bones with garlic sauce, yeah. Says Ruth, and Sierra's on try. Fest in recent weeks, says Robert. The Sharks will win easy, yeah. Now with that try as well, it just pretty much secures the deal. So now we're just more asking the question, how much are they going to win by? And now they're going to beat the Sharks at home. They're looking good this year. Why not? They're on fire right now. And to Kolisi run far for his tries. He had a few meters. Like that one, he got the pass and just had to sprint towards the try line. The other one, I don't think he took any contact either. So very good positioning from Siya Kolisi. Which side do you support in the Champions Cup? I don't actually have a team overall. I do hope that we see, like, to be honest, at least one South African side, if not 2, through to the quarterfinals, just because I feel like they just bring that new look to the Champions Cup that we haven't seen in the past. So it would be nice to see at least a couple make their way through. Of course, that will be tricky, but just because of the class sides that we've got and a long Champions Cup season as well. So you're playing great rugby at the Sharks. It's not the meat that's nice, it's the sauce. Says Outlaw. We could have another New Zealand Oz final in the women's sevens. Says Novmum. Yeah, it just seems like it's set up, doesn't it, for that to be the case. Nice quick hands here coming from the Exeter Chiefs. I want to get straight back into this one. Little grubber attempted in behind. And again, just too close to the touchline. Right, I do see that Jaden Hendrickse has made his way onto the field for Grant Williams, who once again had a standout performance in that number 9 jersey. I think those guys have written Sharks on them, but they've done it in like a very thin pen that you can't actually really read it. Meat just tastes better. Why Martin yourself with tasteless kelp and grass? I want to save the world, says Ator. Now line out throw for Dylan Richardson, claimed by Etzebeth Hendrickse. Going across to the left-hand side, being told to use it. Hendrickse looks like he's had himself another haircut since the November internationals. And not quite taken cleanly by Exeter. Again, the ball will be on the side of the Sharks. Whoop, let's go Kolisi, says Martin. There's going to be a knock-on here first from Exeter, then from the Sharks, so a line out. Siya paid $18 million per year at the Sharks. He needs to perform, says Buckman. Haven't eaten meat since 2015. Says Outlaw. Let's go Kolisi, says Martin. Yeah, nice kick from Jaden Hendricks there. Heavily contested. He sucks at racing. Or he sucked at racing. You're 40-20, looking plausible, says Graham. Yeah, it doesn't look a mile away at the moment. I would say, to be honest, though, I think the Sharks are going to get closer to 50. If they get one more breakaway try, you know, they are going to be dangerous for the last 15 or so minutes. But I do think Exeter still have one more try in them as well. At the end of the day, all they can get from this game, if they score 2 more tries, is that bonus point, which would be massively beneficial as the competition wears on. Capstick has made his way off, and Christ Chinza now makes his way on. Meat sucks, says Outlaw. Andre Easthuizen, 40 metres out from the line. Now Jaden Hendricks, suck my meat, says Win. Now penalty goes the way of the Sharks. But never onside for the number 18 here. The big man, Jimmy Roots. I would like to see a Kiwi side in this competition, says Robert. And who knows, maybe one day we see that Club World Cup format that they have been talking about for a long time. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, though. Yeah, just a little bit of a high tackle as well, almost from Christchinza. Eat a vegetarian, they full of vitamins. Says, I am nutty. Now line out throw for the Sharks, 30 metres out from the line. Chance here to add some more points. How strong is the Toulon lineup? I can show you exactly how strong it is, but it looks pretty decent overall. Like, they've got Villiers out on the wing, Dan Bigger going to be playing at 10. And then Facundo Eze at 8. He's had some great moments for Argentina throughout this year. Kyle Sinclair is the number 3. And then in terms of their bench, I think they've got a couple decent options as well. Yeah, Gita Wainyanyolo, Antoine Frisch, Gigashvili is there as well. Oh, great run from Dylan Richards and passes off to Untotoku Machunu, who knocks it on, unfortunately. He was right on the verge of scoring a try, the big man. I don't like Mickey Yikes. Says Outlaw. Missing Olivon and some others. Says I'm not here. They've still got a few players out. Lester Whaiananuku. Not going to be playing for them in this game either. You never argue with vegetarians. They know best about everything. Says Robert. And come on, the Sharks, our first South African team through to the next round. I support you. From Taiwan, time here is 10:30. Says Dean. Well, it is great to have you here, mate. Currently 5 metres out from their own line. Exeter Chiefs are going to have themselves another scrum feed. I don't like outlaws, says Atur. Now, ball about to be fed in by the Exeter Chiefs replacement, Will Beckinsale. Feeding the ball in. 18 minutes left. Like I said, at this point of the game, it pretty much seems like we know who's going to win. We are just waiting to see how much they're going to win by. I wrapped it up. Chiefs, Sharks have bigger teeth. I didn't know Sinclair had gone to France, says Fleshin. Yeah, to be honest, neither did I. I thought he was still at his last club. The thing is, though, that's the beauty of the Champions Cup. You see all these guys that you're like, oh, so that's where he's ended up. It's a little bit similar to watching the MLR. You know, every once in a while, I'll put on a game of that. And you just see all the guys that you're like, hang on, I didn't realise that they were still playing rugby. But they've just ended up going overseas. Humans did not eat meat in paradise only after men fell in sin, says Outlaw. 17 minutes left now. That scrum's taken a whole minute for it to take place. And it will be fed in. And that is now going to be the penalty going the way of the Exeter Chiefs. Although last time that happened, they kicked it downfield. They had the line out, and then they lost the line out and then conceded a try. So I don't think the Sharks will mind that too much. Of course, it will be annoying that they've given away another scrum penalty. That's about the 3rd or 4th throughout this game. But at the same time, like I said, they won't mind it because now they get another opportunity to steal a line out. Humans only ate apples, says Wen. It is quite meaty today. It is indeed. A lot of meat talk. People love meat, it would seem, except for Outlaw, who does not like meat. Machunu, pronounced no, says Graham there. That's why they could run fast. Why they could run so fast, maybe. Off to the right-hand side, wide, cut out pass. This is going to be an absolutely awesome opportunity for Exeter. I don't know why I used the word awesome there. They're going back for the penalty anyway. As we are in this eating apples, says Ator. I haven't eaten an apple in a long time. Like, I've eaten fruit, but just not an apple. Is it apple season at the moment? Might have to go get one at some stage. I'm not sure what to have for breakfast, but breakfast is in about maybe 6 hours' time, somewhere around there, and I already want it. It's Sabith, I was about to say, but it's Esther Hayes and makes his way off the field for Sia Masuku. And also, Upper Lelefasi will make his way from the field. And this is the last change that they are making. That's a whipping with cream on top. Apple Day keeps the doctor far away, says Kevin. Get into breakfast smoothies. I was into breakfast smoothies at one point in my life. Like I was having oats, peanut butter, banana. There's something else as well, maybe milk in it. I'm pretty sure Eve ate Adam's meat, says Grant. Watermelon. Do love me a watermelon. Oh, double blow of the whistle. Oh, Sharks are close to going to the bin here. In fact, ref slightly reached for his pocket. Dan Japan in front. Come on, New Zealand. Says Novmum. Okay, multiple infringements against the Sharks. Eggs, says Robert. Eggs are a very good choice, aren't they? Eggs on toast, perhaps. Peanut butter and marmalade on toast. Could do. And now a little bit of a huddle going on. It's about just telling the team, stop infringing, boys. We've given away about 15 penalties in this game. Give me fries, much better than me. To be fair, I do love me a good fry. That sounds good. Strawberry, apple, and banana. A bit of yogurt and almond milk is great. And even taking a knee in front of the ref says, I lollipop. Now getting ready to throw this one in. Hamish eating the same soft foods as his girlfriends. Don't be like that, Grant. But, yeah, I don't mind a soft food every once in a while. I think one of my wisdom teeth are coming down at the back. In fact, I think that one's already come in. This one's like half out. That's why anytime I yawn, it hurts very badly. But I should probably get it checked. But I don't know. It'll sort itself out, won't it? Hopefully. Oh, a little bit of a rough rolling maul there. Tell you what, they've got the advantage again here. Locked over the ball. So they will go back for the original penalty. And this is going to be a yellow card now to the Sharks. Peanut butter on everything. Definitely not. Says Graham. I had to be fast to catch an apple. But now Etzebeth looks like he has stayed down with some sort of injury here. We've had a lot of stoppages throughout maybe the last 5 to 10 minutes. I think we've only seen maybe about 2 or 3 minutes of play, unfortunately. I try to spend more time talking about the game of rugby and less on banal items. This is supposed to be a sportscast. Maybe you should do a cooking program. Well, currently, like I said, we haven't really seen a lot of action. We've seen scrum resets, we've seen injuries, we've seen substitutes all taking place, and we've mentioned all of them. But unfortunately, we're just not seeing any free-flowing rugby at the moment between these two sides. Hopefully that will change soon, though. The Etzebeth has stayed down for the last minute and a half, so that does not look good for the Sharks here. Definitely not if he is out for any sort of substantial time. Still 14 minutes on the clock and 10 minutes on the clock from that yellow card. I agree, peanut butter on Hamish with extra strawberry jam. JC sounds like a Karen, says Darren. G'day, Hamish. G'day, Darren. How are you? If you are doing well. Etzebeth, he is still down. Crowd are loving the action by the looks of it. I'm just amazed how big the difference the box makes in the Shark team. And Blackfern's back out in front. Would you be Etzebeth physicality? Or physically, but with your face, if you could? So you're saying, would I rather be my frame that I have at the moment with my face, or have Etzebeth's frame with my face? I feel like it's a pretty easy answer. I would definitely go with Etzebeth. Maybe not now because he's injured. He's going to be making his way from the field here with a very slow walk off. So hopefully nothing too serious here. Are you doing the Stormers match? We certainly are. And also the game taking place straight afterwards between the Bulls and Saracens. So we've got 3 games back to back to back. But line out throw here for the Exeter Chiefs back into the rugby action after a long stoppage and a rolling maul there for the Chiefs. They've dragged it down again here, the Sharks. This could be another penalty and maybe a yellow card against them. But they are 1 metre short of line here for the Exeter Chiefs. Firing it back into the pocket. Going for the cross kick. Emmanuel Fiwa Bosso. And he takes the catch and scores the try. And, double blow of the whistle. Is this another yellow? Yes, it is. 2 yellows in quick succession. That guy only gets swiped right on Tinder at that height. Says, I'm nutty. And we have that Evan has had a busy year, very busy. And hopefully his year is not over with that injury. But another yellow card. 13 on 15. Surely not. Right? This comeback cannot happen, can it? And maybe Chiefs get a bonus point as well. One more try, says I am nutty. It's entertaining talking about other stuff than rugby, says Stefan. And only 13 Sharks on the field. That is correct. I love how every time I tune in, I learn more about you and your life, Hamish, says Tom O'Hart. Some people seem to hate that, so it is good to see that you enjoy it. But that one has gone over, and now 67 minutes gone, 21 points to 36. That extra 3 points could be absolutely massive. And Ricky has said, Hamish, Afrikaans. Is that, can I speak Afrikaans? Because if so, no, I can't. I honestly only have like 3 words up my sleeve. How long still for the first yellow? Still another 8 minutes or so. Only just received it. Exeter now feeling that they can close the deficit. The Sharks are one against Crusaders with 13 people. Sharks can beat them with 12, says Ator. Who's yellow carded? So the first one that we saw for the Sharks, who was it that got the first one? I think it was... I don't actually know who it was the first yellow card. I think it was someone off the bench, though. And then the second one was, I think, Francois Fenta got himself the yellow card second. No, he's still on the field. I honestly don't know who got the yellow cards. Are you watching the game? Sky Sport here in New Zealand. Penalty does go the way of the Sharks. What do they want to do here? Still 15 points up. It looks like they will take on the 3 points. Not good. This could and should turn the game, says Graham. But Fisi Lau, good carry forward from him. 10 minutes is a long time. Lately, the last 10 minutes of the games have been very dramatic, says Lilia B. By the time this kick is taken, that will use up a little bit more time. I got 3 games going, so I assume you're watching both Champions Cup games and then also the Challenge Cup game that has taken place. Don't bother all the haters after they can switch to another channel if they wish. You smash the commentary, says Dragon Girl. Thank you very much. And come on, let's go, boys. Now, Hendricks safe as houses. That one goes straight down the middle. Currently 18 points difference between these two sides now. Could be enough. 7 foot overall. I'm late here. What's the crowd size, please? I would say in terms of the stadium capacity, about 20 to 30% is how many they've got for this match. I'm not sure of the exact number, but there are a lot of empty seats around. We've got to remember, though, it's extremely hot in South Africa at the moment. Makazole Mapimpi claims that one for the Sharks. Now looking to fire it off to Mtufuku Machuno. Now Sia Masuku passes back across to Makazole Mapimpi, who tries to step and he gets through too. Emmanuel Fiwa Bosso has to drag him down. Do you remember, or how do you remember all the players' names, says YZ Smith? I think it's just from repetition. Covering so many games for certain sides, and then when we're not covering a game, we're more than likely watching the others, which is how I know a few of these Exeter Chiefs guys. But yeah, overall, just a lot of research. Oh, that's a deliberate knockdown from Edouard Keita. It won't be severe enough to be a yellow card, or else they would have been playing with 12. And Hamish Smash, there's Joseph. I used to go to Kings Park back in the late 90s. It was always 50,000 full, says Darren. And hope Money is watching. Great kicking from Jordan today, says Buckman. Hamish has a pretty good memory, says Win. Yeah, although it's starting to go a little bit. In terms of like outside of rugby, I'm forgetting a lot of things now. And I think that's just from doing so many hours of like being like, I mean, throughout that World Cup, we were doing times where we were up for 40 hours straight and then going to sleep for 2 hours, then staying up for another 24. So I think that's starting to catch up on me brain, starting to slow me down a little bit. I'm only 25 as well, so that's not good, but it is what it is. Vetsbeth is seriously injured. The Stormers won't be complaining. The Stormers play the Sharks on the 28th of December. Says Mono Lagrange. Looks like they're actually going to go upstairs for something here by the looks of it. Hi all, joined late. Who are the try scorers? So far we've seen 2 for Sia Khaleesi. We've seen Makazole Mapimpi. We've seen Pepsi Buthelezi. And then we've seen Grant Williams. I think that's all of the try scorers. In fact, there might be one more. Hamish, look at the team sheets, says Buckman. The only team sheets that I've got are the ones that I show at the start. Other than that, like, it would be easier, but I've got the game on this screen and the chat on this screen, so I don't really know where to put the team sheets. Like, I could have it on the desk, but be a lot of printing for the amount of games we do. Sometimes I see Hamish's face in women, like in Waterboy. Kills my boner. Well, I apologise for that. Hamish is only 35. It was a 4 pass that was deliberately knocked on, says Iron Lollipop. And 18 points isn't enough. I remember Highlanders scored 3 tries in the last 10 minutes to beat Cheetahs in the Super 14. Well, at the end of the day, we've already seen, like, oh, they're just checking this one for the 3-on-1 situation. So this might be a yellow card for the Sharks again here. But, yeah, the Sharks scored 3 tries in 7 minutes earlier on in this game. Any Afrikaner who don't understand Kiwi, change your AI translate to English, says a tour. Even skips all Stormers matches, part of his contract, says Buckman. Are we getting an Xmas Day stream from Hamish? Maybe. We'll see how we're going. We've got to remember, though, for you guys in South Africa, it would have to be an evening stream for me so that it's a Christmas stream for you guys. Yep, another yellow card. This time, Edwin Keita will get sent to the bin. Eben didn't play last week against the Stormers, and the Sharks still won against them. That's a good point. Although they've had a big injury list in this game. We've seen Vincent Tuchuka go down. We've seen Eben Etzebeth go down. James Fenter. They're losing a lot of forwards here, the Sharks. It's going to be kicked into touch. Next week they're playing the Leicester Tigers. It's nearly 5. And Pretoria, and temperature is 31 degrees Celsius. Eben got the first yellow. Second was Van Heeren, says Albert. And the Sharks doing another Coke Up 12 to 15. I don't think Eben got the first one, though, did he? Because he ended up going off during the yellow card period with an injury. So I don't think he got the first yellow, but Emil van Heeren, I believe you're right about that one. Chiefs will be very happy with the bonus point loss, says Buckman. La Rochelle killed the Stormers forwards last year, says I am nutty. Now, and behind here, the Exeter. Oh, that's bad from Makazole Mapimpi. Is that a realistic place to catch the ball? Or is he also going to go to the bin? No, it's just called as a knock on there. How many Sharks on the field? They're down to 12. They were almost down to 11 there for Makazole Mapimpi. Would you say, or what would you say would be the average size to play rugby, height and weight? I would say 100 kgs, maybe even 105 nowadays, and then probably about maybe 5'11", 6 foot. Of course, the lock's boosted up, but there are a lot of smaller guys out there on the field as well. So I'd say 6 foot's probably safe. Oh, it's called as a deliberate knock on, but he will not be given the yellow card. It's what the Supersport website says. Even got the yellow, says Albert. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's possible, though, because he was still out there on the field and then ended up injured. I'll have a look and see what I've got in terms of what it tells me for the yellow. Just because, yeah, I don't think it was him. Match stats, that doesn't have it, but this one will. He was ready for the intercept there for Makazole Mapimpi. 95 kg, 6'1". Says cool story, bro. And skip games against the Stormers. What a legend, Etzebeth. La Rochelle got some pretty big Fijian forwards. Says when. Now, getting ready to go. 5 metres out from the line. They've been told to leave it here. And trying to go over the top of the ruck for the Exeter Chiefs. Sharks are disappointed about those yellow cards. Now going short side. Oh, they're going to get close to the touchline. But then also going back for another penalty. Referee's going to call them over again here. The Sharks are testing how many players they can have not on the field. So it was... Oh, yeah, it says Eben Etzebeth, but then he got injured about 5 or so minutes later. So that's weird that they've got him down. Because, yeah, he got injured, like, what was it, 2 or 3 minutes after that first yellow card. What's the record for most yellow cards at the same time? Tell you what, the Sharks are trying to go for it. I think the refs pretty much said, look, boys, you know, just sort it out. You're going to get sent to the bin again. Yeah, just offside there for Jaden Hendrickse. And Mapimpi's lucky not to get a yellow card there, says Buckman. 18 black offside. Going to be another scrum. I think 2, says Mr. Marmite. Did your appetite double after having little sleep during the World Cup, Hammy, says Annoy? Oh, a little bit. Like, during that World Cup period, I don't think we ate a lot of food overall just because I was too busy doing other things. But, like, afterwards, I would say we probably did eat quite a bit just to make up for it. Fiasco, says Graham. Now, scrum feed for the Exeter Chiefs. This looks like is it a 7-man scrum from the Sharks here? They're holding strong, doing well at the moment. They're trying to get themselves the advantage. Now firing it back across again here, the Exeter Chiefs. Attack and run forward. Hendrickse trying to get over the ball, can't quite do so. If the Sharks side can hold on again, I would be extremely impressed. As they've just had to keep on digging deeper and deeper to try and defend. Cross kick attempted, and it's dropped by the Exeter Chiefs. Knock on coming from Ben Hammersley. Who's this ref? It is I'm not sure of his name, but he is French. Go on, ref, give them another card for a laugh. And the Sharks are way too undisciplined. And how much time left? Only another 6 minutes or so remaining now. Hammersley, all he had to do was take the catch. Is Henry Slade playing? He is not, no. Yeah, 6 minutes remaining in this one. So Jaden Hendrickse will clear the lines of the Sharks. There are plenty of gaps in their defence, or at least you'd think there would be, but they're not really getting through as of yet, Exeter. Probably still another 2 minutes or so before they get any sort of reinforcements back. Pimmy not get a yellow, only this. Ref will know, says WLK. And 6 minutes with 11 guys is slot, says Samilo. Currently they got 12, but they're almost working on getting 11 on the field. They've given away plenty of penalties in the last few moments. And that penalty count has just continued to soar. Now going back across to the right-hand side here. Rush defence from the Sharks. Loose ball. Marcus Mapimpi. It's going to be knocked on first of all from the Chiefs, then from the Sharks. This will be another scrum feed. Somebody tell the Sharks this isn't a sevens game, says Darren. Yeah, well, they're certainly lacking numbers, but they're just doing so well defensively. Like, I don't know whether or not it's because Exeter think that they should be able to just get through easy because they're playing less men, but they're just making a lot of mistakes. Now 4 minutes left. Probably another couple minutes still as well. Well done, the Sharks. What happened to your discipline? No, this way you will not win a trophy, says Dion. Yeah, at the end of the day, if they gave away this many penalties, and I don't want to be critical of the Exeter Chiefs, but if they gave away this many penalties up against a side like Toulouse or like a team like Ulster in their group, like it would be a whole different story. And, you know, they have to sort that out. And Sharks testing their defense. I mean, if that was their plan to get low in numbers so that they can test what their guys can do, it's certainly working. Who's of the Sharks own the bookies? Hansi Kronya game, says Ator. Now Jaden Hendrickse to feed the ball. And again, if the Sharks can score with 12 men on the field, I mean, their scrum almost got dominated there, but the ball is out the back for Siamasuku to sit down. His opposite number, Hayden Wood. Now Hendrickse goes across to Unthathuku Machunu. They're looking to just hang on to the ball for a little bit longer. Now booting it high. Oh, why is there a 14 difference between you and live? A 14 difference? I assume you're talking a 14 second. It is because I'm watching on Sky Sport Select and Sky Sport Now, which is a little bit delayed compared to live TV. And 2 yellows for the Oz woman. Says Nov Mum once again, another mistake here. First knock on from the Sharks. Then knock on from Exeter. I think this will be now 10 minutes up for one of the Sharks players. Will the ref call off the game if the Sharks end up with 9 players left on the field? It would certainly be a unique situation. Right, Umbanambi is back on the field now, so he must have been the man who received that first yellow card. He returns from the bin. Oh no, sorry. He's replaced Eben Etzebeth, who hasn't returned. But Etzebeth got injured after that first yellow card, did he not? I'm very confused at how he got a yellow, then continued playing, and then ended up injured. As Jordan off, Jordan Hendrickson is off. Yes, Sia Masuku made his way on to replace him. Now, Mbanambi back in that number 2 jersey. Eben was the first yellow. But then did he get a yellow, but in the motion of getting a yellow, get injured? Because he went off injured not too long after. But now they've gone from 3 yellow cards back to 2 yellow cards. I'm going to have to go back and look at that because, yeah, he ended up injured a couple minutes after that first yellow was given. So now there's questions of whether or not he'll even be playing next week. Look like some sort of shoulder injury. I even got a yellow for playing the man. Okay, that makes more sense. So played the man, got the yellow for that, and then injured as he landed. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Now ball is going to be fed in. And back to an 8. Sharks scrum pack here. That's another penalty that I have exited. I've had very, very good work at scrum time. He landed on the guy hurting himself. Says Lollipop. And on his head says Lazy Fun Guy. 2 minutes remaining. Can the Exeter Chiefs get something out of the end of this game? I want to say they deserve it, but at the same time, with the amount of opportunities that they've had and the amount of times that they haven't been able to get over the line, do they deserve it? They need one more try to get themselves a bonus point for 4 tries or more in the game. Only 100 seconds remaining. She's going to Exeter early out of the ECC, says Buckman. Now going short side. Jaden Hendrickson does make the tackle. Was collapsing the ball. Then the wing did a professional foul. Says Lazy Fungi. Now wrestled down there, almost dropping the ball. Sia Kalisi. Oh, and Tutuko Machuno again. They will give away the penalty. Now still playing with 13 on the field. We've got to remember missed tackle there. In fact, multiple missed tackles there from the Sharks. Now 10 metres out from the line. Little bit of hesitation coming. Jimmy Roots with a good carry forward. Oh, Hendrickson makes the tackle and there's a knock on from the Exeter Chiefs. Sharks putting on that pressure. Why is there a 14-minute difference between you and the live? On SIP, says Juan Louis. Am I 14 minutes ahead or am I 14 minutes behind? Because if I'm 14 minutes behind, I think you haven't clicked the live button. Possibly. And come on, the Sharks. Kind of weird game, I guess. Yeah, a little bit unorthodox, you could say, in terms of how these two sides have played. At the end of the day, the Sharks have been in control, even though they've made a lot of mistakes. They've had 9 handling errors in this contest. If we look at the disciplinary stats, 6 in the first half they gave away, the Sharks, and now their discipline sits at, they've given away 18 penalties throughout this match. And Sharks can be super proud of their defense, says Lilia B. Yeah, even in those penalties that they gave away, they were still extremely strong. There's the siren back into the pocket. Masuku will kick it into touch. And that will be the end of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. 39 points to 21. Now, the next live stream is happening just around the corner. It's going to be the next one, Stormers versus Toulon. We will be covering that one on the channel as well. So anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got there. Sharks did more than enough to win. 5 points in the bag, says Buckman there. And good job, Hamish. Great commentator skills. I'll catch you for the next game. Let's go, the Stormers. And well done, Hamish. Best in the business. Thanks for the comms. Catch you later. Says Graham. So yeah, the next live stream that we are doing, ladies and gentlemen, it will be starting in 5 minutes' time. So just around the corner. And then pretty much straight after that one, we've got the Bulls taking on the Saracens. So be sure to stick around. Not a bad show by Exeter, considering how bad they are at the moment. Yeah, in the early stages, you know, they were pretty competitive and they still have moments that they can be proud of from this game. But yeah, they'll want to improve a little bit more compared with where they want to be. And 40-20, close enough. Yeah, was actually, tell you what, right amount of points, just didn't quite get it right in terms of the exact number, but I'm actually pretty happy with that score prediction. That's about as close as I've been, so we will definitely claim that. And final score, Sharks 39, Exeter 21, game done. Says Juan. And we have got there Liquor My Brew. Says Ator, and great start to the Champions Cup, says Lilia B. Certainly was for the Challenge Cup champions from last year. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And we are transferring straight over now to that next live stream between the Stormers and Toulon. But we will see you all for the next one.